Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sargel18. Episode 28 of Unchained. We are all stuck in a room with a view. Heaven speaks, and I'm going to show more unbelievable photo evidence that myself and Sandra got of the Vortex of the solid dragon nest thing and other creatures that I think you're going to recognize and be blown away. So, I hope you go through the whole video to see it. Now, the meaning of biblical revelation is simply to reveal. The cycle of the revelation event has already started and will come to an end. So, what will humanity learn at the end? Many, many different things will be revealed to humanity. True reality, where we stand in God's universe, the vast responsibility that heaven plays in all of this, Jesus and Lucifer are real, and so on. This is all part of Revelation, which could lead to apocalyptic events. And knowing the human race and Lucifer probably will, but we'll go on. Man and woman's viewpoint of the known universe from the beginning is extremely limited. Even thinking outside the box, you'll never understand it. Obviously, important information purposely is being held back by heaven at God's decree. Now, heaven listens to God. What are you doing? All right. So the young souls that are alive here in a body get no cheat sheets. Everything has to be learned from the ground up, starting at birth. You have to earn your way to get into heaven. However long it takes a soul to complete the levels, depending on how much you put into it. In 1 life, 10 lives, 100 lives, your soul has all the time and resources you need to get the task done. Which is pretty cool. Now let's segue to the title of the video. We are all stuck in a room with a view. Heaven's vast responsibility. When you hear about heaven, you conceptualize it as a physical place. You see it in your mind. You see a big golden city and puffy white clouds everywhere and angels and spirits and thrones and Jesus and God. You see that in your mind. And that's about as far as it goes. Now in Revelation, heaven sends thousands of souls from heaven for this video to help humanity understand not only what's coming at them, but where our reality stands in the multiverse and how heaven controls it all through God's will. Excuse me. As you know, our planet and galaxy is huge. Millions of light years across. It's so big, we can't handle it. It's just huge. Now, if you take all that we know in third dimension and put it in a room, that room would be under heaven's control, and heaven then would nurture and keep the laws of the room intact, with the knowledge that there is something very big, heaven, right outside the door. It's put in such a way that you have to attain the perspective and then put whatever work that needs to be done to attain it, to finish what you thought of, or to finish your growth. You have to have the perspective of it. You have to know that it exists. Because if you don't think it exists, any perspective that you have will never get you there. Nope. Right. All the help they need that needs to be done to achieve success. The end game is to get through the 6 levels of growth and reach that door. Then open it and step through. Now, that's when your soul and its perspective gets a major reality check. Mine did for me. Heaven is huge, vast, never-ending. My soul is from the 3rd level of heaven, and I was in awe for a long time when I reached it, before I was able to achieve the correct perspective and alignment. Now, heaven has many rooms, and I'm going to show you, I found a picture that kind of describes what I'm talking about. This is basically a cheap diagram of what I'm talking about and what heaven is. You see all the little dots in the rows from the bottom up. They're the rooms. Each room has a galaxy, like Earth, like our Earth and our galaxy is in one of those rooms. In the center is the control area, basically, that heaven has to send everything out and make sure everything's right. And above that, higher realms. You know, 2nd level of heaven, 1st level of heaven. This is my perspective from the 3rd level of heaven. But that's what I'm talking about. Each of those little rooms, man, is an everything. Now, as I just showed you, heaven has many rooms. Like Jesus said about his Father's mansion, and he did mention that to me, was one of the last things he said to me in 2004 when we met, was about his many rooms in his Father's mansion. And that was the end of the meeting with Jesus and myself. A major portion of heaven goes to the work of keeping all the rooms intact. There are different jobs that every soul must do to keep God's plan running smoothly. And I assure you, us, reality, beyond reality, heaven, the cosmos, everything, is all has to run smooth. It all has to run smooth. You can't have leaks, but then we do. With everything, there are leaks. This is what I believe black holes are, and I'll talk about that in future videos. Now, here's how dumbed down they got many to believe about heaven. You live, you die, and you go to heaven and sit with God and play a harp for eternity, happy as a pig in shit. That's it. That's really as far as it goes for the general person to know about heaven. Yet every single person alive on this planet's job is so important to raise that soul level. Yet that is some of the guidance that Luciferian energies to demean heaven have put out. And you would say, well, gee, well, sitting that doesn't sound demeaning. Well, it pretty much is for what your soul has to go through, and just to reach heaven, you have to go through a lot of shit. A lot. Now that doesn't sound right? Heaven has an infinite number of rooms, each with a universe like ours in it. Each room is as big as our galaxy and universe. So if each room is millions of light years wide, you can imagine how big heaven is. All these rooms that I just showed you, and millions more, of course, only take up a small portion of heaven. Heaven has millions of things to do, as many different things as here on Earth. You know, there's a million different things you can do. You can pick up a lighter, you can have a sip of coffee, you can drive down the road. I mean, there's millions of things. Heaven has all that too. You know, basically times a million. But I'll get to how heaven works in another video, and where I can explain it in layman's terms to give you a better idea. And heaven has, I think I just said this, has everlasting souls to take care of everything that needs to be done. That's why we exist. Basically. Here's the best way for me to explain it. You're in a room and you know the dimension. You've been in the room forever and you know the dimension and everything that's in that room. Let's say it's a 9 by 12 room. Okay? Not a regular bedroom size room. Excuse me. So since you know everything that's in that room, you also know where you stand in that room in relation to the room. The door opens and you walk through and are blown away of how big heaven is and how insignificant your room is in the big scheme of things. I'll give an analogy on when I entered heaven, when I reached 30 lifetimes ago and entered heaven, I don't remember exactly how blown away I was because, you know, my mind was like fried, my reality at that point. But, you know, I attained it. And I have an analogy for this. I was traveling across the country back in the late 1970s, and I was out by the Grand Canyon. I think it was Arizona. I was out by the Grand Canyon, and we had arrived and parked on the side of the road at night. So you really couldn't see. You could tell something was in front of you, but you couldn't see it. And so the next day, they know I've never seen it. So the next day, the guys put a blindfold on me, you know, and walked me out. And I had my back to the Grand Canyon, and they took the blindfold off and said, "Now turn around." And when I turned around, I just went, oh, it was vast. This huge hole in the earth, known as the Grand Canyon. And I realized just how small I was. Well, that's kind of like what happens when you reach the level of heaven. You know where you stand. And you know that it's only just like a hair in a whole head full of hair. Now, I say insignificant in size in relation to heaven, not what's going on inside each room. Everything, every person and soul are very important to God. That's why God created heaven in the first place, because He loves us. And He really does. He really does. I wish, just for a second, I just wish that I could show like the doorway could open up for everyone here on earth and get a chance for at least 30 seconds to see what heaven's like and then come back, because I think the world would be a hell of a lot different, happier, and peaceful place. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I just kind of got caught up in that thought there. Now, it's also why God creates advanced souls, like myself, to give as much help and clarity as possible during trying times. Most know me as Sergeant 18, an expert in paranormal reality, but I have also done thousands of readings, lectures, TV, radios, and more. And the best time I have as me is when I help people on a personal level. That makes the outrageous life that I have worth it. I love helping people, which is why ever since the beginning I've given away all my research for free. All the evidence, everything. I never charged anybody to look at any of that. Now, to sum it all up, I'll use a visual aid about the room and the galaxy inside the room and how insignificant and small it is compared to the size of heaven and all the millions of rooms. Remember the first Men in Black movie with Will Smith? The Men in Black and the alien are trying to find a galaxy. At the end, they find it inside of a marble on a cat's collar. That's exactly how it is in heaven. Millions of little rooms with whole galaxies in them. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. Let me show a picture of it. I did grab a pic of it, just so you know what I'm talking about. At the end, they show on the cat's collar in the marble is the galaxy. In that little tiny marble, that whole galaxy, sun, all kinds of stuff. That's just like in heaven. Except it's not a marble. It's like a room. Now I'm going to show you more evidence that I took at the Vortex, including Sandra's shot of the dragon nesting and the tip of its tail in third dimension. Alright, so let's bring some pics up. I got some pics for you to look at tonight, especially the younger crew that doesn't, just discovering me now. Here, I took this picture. No breath, just came through, had some mist from its atmosphere there. It's a cow. A cow being. A cow creature. The left side of the picture is untouched. That's just how I took it. On the right side, I just cleaned it up a bit, blacked out the mist, and, I mean, eyes, nose, you see her ears, everything on this. It's so cool, the Vortex. I know I say that before, but believe me, I mean it. Now, which picture is this? Sorry, losing the thing here. Oh, no, yeah, well, that's... sorry, I just put that up. Okay. We don't need to do that. How about this one? Oh, these are nice. These are neat. These are the light rods. I have thousands of pictures as good as the one I'm going to show you of them doing different things, and they're also weaponized. They've hit me. They've hit Sandra right in the face one night. And I caught it on film. I'm trying to find a picture of her going, ow! Like, so that's pretty cool. But here, you see it up to the top left? Again, I'm going back to the Vortex. I'm under the bridge. You see the rock there with my logo on it, S18, and my symbol. And look up to the left. And that's about a good, about 60, 70 feet away from me. And it's just traveling. Two of them. Traveling. At the speed of light, almost. Now, oh, okay. Now, Sandra, one night with 35mm camera, film at 1,000 speed. We're back at the Vortex, doing our thing. It was always, after mid-August 1998, everybody left. Tommy, Lisa, they all left. They all got swooped up by demonic beings. And it changed their lives. So it's just me and Sandra all the time. And when Sandra didn't want to go, I went, which was about half the time. So, I mean, I went on by myself. Now, she turns around and she sees this thing about 30 feet from her, about 15 feet up, just going by, ahead. Ahead. Going by. So she took the picture. Okay, and this is what she got. Now this is on, we have the negative and everything to this. There's the weeds, and look, it's that time of year where they turn brown and all that, and I'll show you when the dragon's nesting. And then you see up there, there's no breath. That's the actual picture right there. It's got some mist coming off of it from its reality. And it's just traveling by, and the detail was incredible. And I'm going to show you this. Because it was taken with film at 1,000 speed, so that's great. And it's also great to back up the evidence and all. Now, right here, I have the untouched picture on the left, and I cleaned up all that mist, and look. You can see its face. It's got like a monkey almost type face. Its nose, its jaw, its mouth. Its head is elongated. I think some of you are beginning to realize what I'm about to show you next. And here it is. Now you've seen these. You've seen these on television, these elongated skulls from South America and other places around the world. And there it is, with its flesh on it, traveling through the vortex, just its head. Incredible. I want to talk about, it's a hard life I have, and I've said that before, but it's also a very cool life. Now, all right, I'm going to show you, dragons come in many forms. They come small, they come big, they come odd shaped, they come like we know them shaped with the wings and the scales and all kinds. And one night I was back there, and I took this picture right around the time, it was the spring of the time where Sandra got it lying in the grass. And here it is. No breath, no nothing. This is like a small dragon flying through the air. Now, untouched picture on the left there. It was a little foggy down there that night. I was lucky to get this picture. And there I did an enhancement on the bottom right so you can really see the detail. Look at this thing. This stuff is flying around everyone and they don't know it. Yep. That is, to me, incredible. Now, okay, we've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that. Now, one night, this is the solid picture of the tail of the dragon. And one night, it was me and Sandra. Probably was about September, October, 98 or 99. No, 98. And we're walking down the vortex, and when you walk down there, you have to make a left by this old brick building that was destroyed when DuPont exploded. And then you go down, you make a little right, and you're right in the valley of the vortex, let's say. And we were walking down there, and my belt or something became loose. So I had all kinds of equipment on me, so I had to take it off and all that. I'm standing up there, and she's like, I'm going down. And I'm like, no. I just had a bad feeling. I said, no, don't go down. Just give me a second. Let me get this done. So what'd she do? I'm going down. So she goes down. Instantly, I commanded a whole shitload of orbs to protect her. And I can do that. And I haven't gotten to what I can do with the vortex like that. But this is going to show one of the things that I do. And I told them, I said, protect her, surround her, protect her. Because I'm not ready yet. I don't know what she's walking into. And this is that picture. I did take the picture, though. As I had my camera out, I took the picture. And there's Sandra at the bottom, walking down the path next to the brick wall. And look at the ring of orbs around her, protecting her. And more coming from behind. This is one of the things that I could do with the vortex. Remember, a soul from heaven's going to have all kinds of abilities, especially when he was the Witch of Endor. Now, she made the right, and she walked down, and there was a dragon. About 15, 20 feet wide, curled up, I guess, nesting or sleeping in the tall weeds of the vortex, and it was absorbing, see, it was misty, so it was absorbing moisture on its skin. I guess it needs that stuff. And she surprised it, and this thing jumped and took off. Now, here is the picture. If she only snuck up a little more, she could have got the whole thing. But, she, you know, what do you say? As I said, it happens when you least expect it. Here is the picture she took. Now, if you're looking here, you see that the tall grass is all matted down, like something big was lying there. And if you look to the left, about halfway up to the far left of the picture, you see the tip of the tail. That's all she was able to get as it took off. Here on the right, bottom right, I did an enhancement and blew it up. You see, it's a flesh tail with droplets of water on it, and you can almost make out the rings on it in the skin, which I guess would be the scales for the time down there. Now here I did a close-up again just so you could see it. There's the tail. You see the water droplets on it. You see it's solid, third dimensional. It's meat. It's dragon meat. I wonder how much a dragon meat tail would go for at a barbecue. But there it is. Now, obviously, it is not the best picture of a dragon, but it is a picture of it where a dragon was lying in third dimension, and when it took off, she was able, luckily, be able to catch at least that part. These things move fast, and she was startled. Luckily, when her hands went back, she clicked the picture, you know, and that's what she got, which was great. But I never expect anything different at the Vortex that I'm not under control of. And I'm going to come up in the next couple videos and I'm going to start showing you things, especially since it's the holiday, that will either perplex you, unnerve you, or you just think I'm full of shit. And that's going to be fun. I got more in my coffer than anyone else ever. And that's just the way that is. I'm a hard worker. Now, okay, now remember, we got 2 weeks till the election. So stay calm, stay focused, and stay prayed up. Peace out.